Welcome to the best Java moss guide. And will Java moss grow outside of water? I will take you on a journey to explore the following 5 types of aquarium plants, 4 ways to use Java moss, 3 methods to propagate it, 2 environments it can thrive in, and 1 big secret about Java moss that will change your aquascaping game forever. Ready to count them down? All right, let's talk about Java moss. You know, this little plant is like the unsung hero of the aquarium world. It's not flashy, but man, is it tough and versatile. I remember when I first got my hands on some Java moss, my tank was looking kind of blah. Just a few rocks and some sad looking plastic plants. But then I added this moss and boom, the whole vibe changed. Here's the thing about Java moss. It's full of surprises. I mean, you might think you know what it can do, but trust me, you're in for a treat. We're about to go on a little journey here, and I'm going to show you some stuff about Java moss that'll make you see it in a whole new light. So stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll be itching to try out some cool new ideas with this amazing little plant. Now, you might be thinking, Java moss is just for the bottom of your tank, right? Well, what if I told you this little plant could completely transform your aquarium from top to bottom? There's a little reason I call Java moss the shapeshifter of the aquatic world. Let me tell you, Java moss is like that one friend who is always up for anything. You know, the one who's just as comfortable at a fancy dinner party as they are camping in the woods. That's Java moss in a nutshell. It's not picky. It's ready to adapt to whatever crazy idea you've got cooking for your tank. I remember when I first started experimenting with Java moss, beyond just a carpet, I had this old piece of driftwood that was looking kind of sad and bare. So I thought, why not try attaching some Java moss to it? I used some fishing line to tie it on, and man, the transformation was unreal. Within a few weeks, that driftwood went from drab to fab, covered in this lush green moss that gave it so much character. But here's where it gets real fun. Java moss isn't just for decorating the bottom or middle of your tank. You can use it to create these amazing living walls. Imagine having a backdrop of green swaying gently in the current. It's like giving your fish their own little jungle to explore. And speaking of jungles, have you ever thought about creating a Java moss tree? Yeah, you heard it right. With a bit of creativity and some wire, you can shape a tree structure and attach Java moss to it. As it grows, it fills out and creates this incredible otherworld look. It's like bringing a piece of Avatar's Pandora into your living room. But wait, there's more. Java moss can even defy gravity. You can create floating islands by attaching it to a small buoyant object, and these little green oases suspended in your tank not only look cool, but also provide excellent hiding spots for shy fish or fry. Now, I know what you're thinking. This sounds great, but how do I actually attach Java moss to all these different surfaces? Well, it's actually easier than you might think. For most surfaces, you can use fishing line or even cotton thread to tie the moss in place. The moss will actually attach itself and grow over the line. For smoother surfaces, a dab of aquarium safe super glue can work wonders. One of my favorite tricks is using Java moss to create natural floating covers. You know how some fish, especially betas, love to build bubble nests? Well, a small patch of floating Java moss provides the perfect anchor for these nests. Plus, it gives shy fish a sense of security from above, mimicking the cover they'd find in nature. Speaking of mimicking nature, have you ever wondered if Java moss could survive beyond the confines of your aquarium? Well, get ready to have your mind blown. This little plant has a trick up its sleeve that might just change the way you think about aquascaping forever. Java moss isn't just limited to life underwater. In fact, it can thrive above the waterline, opening up a whole new world of possibilities for your aquatic setups. Now, I know what you're thinking. Wait, isn't Java moss an aquatic plant? How can I grow it out of water? Well, that's the beauty of this versatile little plant. Java moss has this incredible ability to adapt to different environments. It's like the chameleon of the plant world, able to change its growth patterns based on its surroundings. Now, let me tell you about the first time I discovered this. I had a piece of driftwood that was partially sticking out of my water, and then to my surprise, the Java moss I had attached to it didn't just stop growing at the waterline. It kept growing, creeping up the wood, and creating this lush green carpet above the surface. It was like having a miniature rainforest right in my living room. But here's where it gets really interesting. Java moss doesn't just survive out of the water, it actually thrives when grown immersed. That's fancy talk for out of water. Java moss develops a slightly different structure. The leaves become a little bit more compact and robust, helping the plant retain moisture. It's nature's way of adapting to a new environment. Now, you might be wondering how you can take advantage of this cool feature. Well, let me introduce you to the world of paludariums and terrariums. These are setups that combine aquatic and terrestrial elements, and Java moss is perfect for creating that seamless transition between water and land. Now imagine a setup where Java moss creeps up from your aquarium over some rocks and onto a beach area. It's like creating your own little slice of tropical shoreline. But it doesn't stop there. You can even grow Java moss as a house plant. Yeah, you heard that right. With the right conditions, high humidity, and indirect light, you can grow Java moss in small containers or terrariums. It's a great way to bring a touch of your aquarium hobby into other parts of your home. Now, I know you're probably itching to try this out. So let me walk you through a quick process of transitioning from Java moss from submerged to emerged growth. Now, start by attaching some Java moss to a piece of wood or rock that sticks out of the water of your aquarium. And then make sure the top part of the moss is just barely above the water line. Over time, gradually lower the water level, exposing more of the moss. Keep the moss exposed, part moist, but by misting it regularly, and in a few weeks, you'll start to see new growth adapting to the air. Remember, the key to success here is maintaining high humidity. Java moss might be tough, but it still needs moisture to thrive out of water. A spray bottle will be your best friend in this process. And don't worry if it looks a bit different at first. That's just the plant adapting to its new lifestyle. You might think you've seen all Java moss can do, but we've barely scratched the surface. What if I told you there's a way to propagate it using items you probably have lying around your house right now? This simple hack could revolutionize how you grow and maintain your aquatic plants. Now, I know what you're thinking. Propagate? That sounds like a complicated, but trust me, It's easier than you might think. In fact, Java moss is one of the most forgiving plants when it comes to propagating. It's like the plant version of Hydra. Cut off one piece and two more grow in its place. Let's start with the basics. There are three main ways to propagate Java moss: division, trimming, and the dry start method. Division is pretty straightforward, and you might just take a clump of moss and gently pull it apart into smaller pieces. Each of these can then be attached to different surfaces in your tank. Trimming is my personal favorite. It's like giving your Java moss a haircut. You just snip it off the long strands and replant them. The best part, both the original plant and the cuttings will continue to grow. It's like getting two plants for the price of one. Now, the dry start method, this one's a little bit different, but it's perfect if you want to create a lush carpet of Java moss. You start by spreading the moss on a damp surface outside of water. Keep it moist and give it plenty of light. After a few weeks, it'll start to attach and grow. Once it's established, you can slowly flood it. Boom, instant carpet. But here's where people often mess up. They get impatient. Remember, Java moss isn't a sprint, it's a marathon. It grows slowly, but steadily. Don't expect overnight results. Another common mistake is not providing enough light. Java moss might be tough, but it still needs light to thrive. Now, ready for that time-saving hack I promised? Here it is. Use a plastic mesh. You know, the kind you might use for crafts or even find in your kitchen. Sandwich your Java moss between the two pieces of mesh. Secure it with some thread and place it in your tank. The moss will grow through the holes and creating a perfect even mat. And when you need more, just cut off a section and attach it somewhere else. It's like having a never-ending supply. I remember when I first tried this trick, I had a bareback wall in my tank that was driving me crazy. So I set up a mesh panel with some Java moss. A few months later, I had this amazing living wall that my fish absolutely loved. It was like their own personal jungle gym. One last tip. Don't be afraid to experiment. Java moss is pretty forgiving. So try different propagation methods and see what works best for you. Maybe you'll discover a new technique that works even better than the ones I suggested. All right. We've been on quite a journey with Java moss, haven't we? From underwater carpets to floating islands and even above water wonders. This little plant has shown us it's capable of so much more than we might have thought. Now, here's the thing. Java moss isn't just about making your tank look pretty. It's about rethinking what's possible in aquascaping. Remember how we talked about using it to create living walls or even trees? That's just the beginning. I want you guys to get out there and experiment. Try growing it above water. Use it in a paludarium, or maybe even start a terrarium. The possibilities are endless with this versatile plant. Java moss might seem simple, but it's a game changer. It's proof that sometimes the most unassuming things can have the biggest impact. So go on, give it a try. Who knows? You might just create something amazing. Click on this video next, where we will explore another fascinating aquarium-related topic that will leave your mind blown. And I will see you there.